Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler review series videos I do for a little while now. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff. And, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. I hope this is a good one. It'd be nice to follow up a good one with a good one. With a good one. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's a super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, you better believe I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing today? Boom! It's my Essenger shirt. Which, I mean, come on. This is such a cool shirt. If you were unfamiliar with Sprecher, he is a musical artist of the electronic variety. And by that, I mean that he works with, electrical instruments. Not that he's an electrical man. Maybe he is in his off time. I don't know what the fuck he does. But I became aware of him. That was a terrible joke. Excuse me. I apologize that was going to happen, folks. I ran into Sprecher about 2 years ago. He was on tour with a band called the Cybertronic Spree. I really loved his set. So much so that I went out, got some merch from him, got a picture taken with him, chatted with him a little bit. I even got some videos of his performance. Those videos are on this channel as well. Just in case you're interested, maybe you want to check out his stuff, or I can point you in the right direction of his stuff. Speaking of right directions, got to bring up my beads here. These beads are legendary god beads. They are made by a friend of mine named China McCoy, who's a stuntman, martial artist, action movie star, comic book creator, just all kinds of stuff, man. Like, he's a musician a little bit, too. Guy is like a fucking renaissance man. He also makes these as well, and he sells them. There's an Instagram page called The Legendary God Beads, all one word. Happen to be interested, check out his stuff. If you need me to, I can point you in the right direction as well. He's a very good dude. I will 100% vouch for him. I've had these for a few years now, and they're holding up great. Anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? Well, like I said, hopefully this is a good one after a good one after a good one, because just got through doing some reviews, some sub sandwiches from a place called Frankie's Deli. And while I was at Frankie's Deli, I got some mole cola, which is classic Italian cola. I just got through reviewing that. Go watch those reviews. Now, going from Italy, from a, this is, if I'm not mistaken, where's the, what the hell ever. It's Sprecher's Cola, cherry cola specifically. Or Sprechers or Sprecher, I'm not sure how to fucking pronounce it. It's fire brewed craft soda made with honey, antioxidants, all that good stuff. And I think this is, no, okay, it's a Wisconsin product. For what I thought it was an Illinois product, but we get a lot of it in Illinois. I reviewed some Sprecher stuff. I did their root beer. I like their sodas typically very much. So, I don't know that I've ever had their cherry cola, though. And it's in a can, which is just neat. Can we get a proper thing for it? Like, the thing is kind of... yeah, it's probably about as good as we're going to get. Ha 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 ha! Let's try out some cherry cola. Oh, it's saying, if you're searching for the ultimate cherry cola, look no further. We select the most delicious Door County cherry juice and masterfully blend it with Wisconsin honey in our gas-fired blah, blah, blah. Okay. Ooh, it's got a nice aroma right from the start. Ooh, you can smell the cherry. Ooh. That is some interesting cherry cola. That's proper. This is, in fact, the business. I'm a fan of that, man. That is so unique. I mean, I love cherry cola, man. As a kid, about the only cherry cola that I was really familiar with was Cherry Coke. And I loved it, man. That was back when you go to the vending machine, and the Cherry Cokes were all, like, super, they were, like, black and red, and, like, they would look badass, and, like, they'd be, like, an Image comic book character from the 90s. I love those designs. I miss it to this day. It set it apart, It was like, yeah, Coke is fine, it's cool, but Cherry Coke, That's what the badasses drink. I still love cherry soda and cherry Coke and what have you. I love cherry in general. It's just a good flavor. But I have to admit, I have not had a cherry soda or a cherry Coke or, well, cherry cola quite like this. Because it's very cherry forward. Typically, they blend it in. It's more cola forward. This one, the cherries are definitely... And I'm not saying, it's not a cherry soda. It's still a cola. But the cherries are playing a much more prominent role in a way that, like I said, I've not quite experienced in a normal cherry cola. You taste it from start to finish. It permeates through the cola. And like I said, I've never quite had that before. It's very interesting and very good. And then, yeah, Sprecher, they are famous for using honey with their sodas. Definitely gives it a unique kind of sweetness. I like this a lot. I think if I have critiques, for me personally, I can get down with it. I could potentially see some people, if you're used to the more conventional cherry colas, might be a little bit sweeter than you're used to. And it's not that I think it's necessarily sweeter, it's just that, again, because the cherry aspect of it is so forward. Whereas the cola, cola itself, can be sweet, obviously. It's a little bit harsher of a flavor. Whereas the cherry is a little bit lighter, a little bit sweeter to kind of work with. So that could potentially get you. For me, I'm down with it because I love the cherry flavor, so I'm just super into it. And that is the other thing. The other critique that I might make is just that if you're going into this expecting a typical cherry cola, if that's your basis, you might take issue with it. I think for me personally, and I'll get more into it. Well, okay, 2 questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Yes and yes, but both have little asterisks attached to them, and here's why. Would I get this again? 100%. I will get this again. I really like it. However, will I get this as a cherry cola? No. I think for me personally, if I wanted a straight cherry cola, I would still go for just a cherry Coke. I like cherry Coke. I think it's pretty much the best cherry cola. Pepsi's good too, but I like cherry Coke, just that nostalgia aspect to it. But here's the thing. Would I get this if I wanted specifically a cherry cola from Sprecher? Well, clearly, yes, that's what I want. But that's my point. I wouldn't get this as my go-to as a cherry cola. I would go to this as almost its own separate thing. Just because the flavor profile is so unique that it's not going to be, if I want that cherry cola taste that I'm accustomed to, this is a little bit too offbeat to fulfill that exactly how I want it to. But at the same time, I know there's going to be times when I want this specific flavor again. And that's where this comes into play, because it is so unique and it's just so standout. By that same token, if I'm recommending it, it has to be under similar premises, because it's, as a cherry cola, it's just a little bit weird. In a very good way, a way that I personally love, but I know that not everybody is going to be into it if you're just that classic cherry cola person. So that's the thing. I recommend it less as a cherry cola and more as its own product, if that makes sense. 5 things before I get here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, spend this rest of your, excuse me, so much cola. Spectacular rest of your, folks, go over there, have yourselves a truly cherry cola-tastic rest of your life. Because again, cherry cola is just fantastic. I don't know too many people I've ever met in my life who don't like cherry cola, at least on some level. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. No, that's just a gray. That's just a gray. Even when we go over there and find grays in our beards, which, you know, as I get older, I just have to deal with. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of hassle in our lives. Hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks. Do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe you're going to go over there. Maybe you're going to start up a YouTube review show. And maybe you're going to have a Saturday off. Maybe you're going to go, you're like, I'm going to go out and I'm going to get some CDs today. Maybe I'm going to hit up that gas station with this super badass gas station attendant chick who's also really cute. I did one of those things today. Planning to do the other after this. But maybe you're going to go over there and you're going to end up getting way too many things to review. Now your brain is all fuzzy and you're tired and don't even know if you care about the CDs anymore, but you're like, you already drove all this way out here, and you're gonna have to go make it happen. So that's totally not based on a real story in my life. Just saying. Or conversely, don't do any of that. I mean, to be fair, if you still want to go buy CDs, I mean, I wouldn't recommend it at this point anyway. It's becoming a little bit of a thing to make happen, but I like CDs still. You know, but hey, if there happens to be somebody of potential interest, you know, hey, shoot your shot. I'm just saying. Anyway, bye.